it's not about how much weight that you lose, because it's not about weight. It's not about obesity. Again, it's about your whole life.
Founder of a fabulous group called Fabulous, and many of those women are here.
Wonderful. No, fabulous.
Fabulous.
Fabulous. So tell me what life was like, and describe where you were before working with me.
I was 50 pounds overweight. Now I can say that. I was 50 pounds overweight. Had tried many different types of diets that I had tried successfully in the past. Had gotten to the point that every time, I'm the only one that I know have ever said this, every time I would go on a diet, I would actually gain weight. He was talking about me this morning when he said that. And I stopped using the scale. I would not look at the scale at all. Yeah, I was pretty death surgery. We had it all researched and the doctor picked out and everything.
So share with everyone where you are now.
And it's interesting because we haven't been working together that long, and as a matter of fact, I had jacked myself up. Dr. King was going out of town, I was going out of town, so he said, okay, I'll see you when you come back. And I said, no, I need to see you now. So I was in the place that I knew I needed to begin. And so it's a whole different mindset now. So I'm in a zone. And so I am moving and grooving, feeling real good about it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. Right, and it's only been in a few weeks, right? I mean,
yes.
It hasn't been long.
Yes.
Right.
That even my daughter had said, Mom, you've said all that before several times. And so it's knowing that I'm in a place that I can do it now. My husband is even working with me. He's watching some of the videos with me, which is amazing in itself. And so I think more than anything, it's knowing that it's not even about the weight so much. I talk more about health, and even some of the ladies here know, I said, but it's about our health. It's about our health. So it's the mindset and the looking at lifestyle change that I know I want to go back to, and that's where I am, because I know I have to look at it differently and do it differently. And so I'm on the other side, really, of being eager. It's like I want to go 100%. And Dr. King keeps bringing me back, saying, no, one step at a time. What's the plan? What do you want to do? And we talk about the wins constantly and the challenges, and then deciding what am I going to do about those challenges. So it's a whole different way. I'm not by myself doing a diet. Is having that partner that I could talk to, not just once a week. I don't even know if you know I texted you last night. But being able to have someone that's a partner that you can communicate with all the time about what's going on, and to pull you back and to say you could still do it, but listening to how I'm doing it and what your wins are, what are you planning next, how are we going to do it, and learning as I go the right way.
Beautiful.
My name's Miguel Guevara. I'm a fortunate and happy father of 3 wonderful children and a wonderful wife. I run a consulting business helping large organizations change. Anybody bowl at any point? Okay. So you're familiar with the 10-pound ball? Okay, so over the past 18 years, I've burdened my body with 4, actually it's 6 in total, 6 10-pound balls, so I'm 60 pounds overweight, I was. And that really drove home because I had back pain, I had knee pain, I had high blood pressure. And I think the most painful to me was it's been a couple months now. About 6 months ago, I heard the kids fighting over what are the teams going to be once Dad drops out. So the kids were at a point where they knew I wasn't going to be able to play basketball with them because he's too tired. And that affected basketball, tennis, other activities with them. So I became a bystander in their activities. And I reached out, I think, 5 months ago and said, I'm 260 pounds. Can you help me?
Wow. And what's life like now?
So I didn't lose. I've let go. I have released 4 of those bowling balls that I no longer carry. 40 pounds. I'm playing basketball with the kids. I'm playing tennis. We took a lesson last week, and the tennis coach told one of the kids, dude, you've got to hustle now because your dad can get those now. He's a much better player. My skill has not improved, but my stamina has. And I can chase down those balls. I can play with Nico and Bella a 1-hour basketball game, and they're just as tired as I am.
And what has this made possible for you in your life?
So personally, I've shared quite a bit. Just the engagement with my kids has been outstanding. Professionally, you know, I can walk into a large corporation and they're going to guide their people through a change, and I can start with my own story about personal change and tell them we can do this. And
Yes.
I'm living proof that yes, we can do it.
Yeah.
On a slightly or funnier note, it's been 40 pounds since my wife looked at me in a funny way and said, Papito. That's an accomplishment as well.
I hear a lot of, I'm like, all right, we're just going to hand it over to Kashima. So tell me what life was like before working with me.
If you can call it a life, it was filled with depression. I was in a rough marriage. I was unhappy, and so my children were unhappy. I used to be very athletic. I used to do a lot outdoors. I would do anything hands-on, I was there. And before meeting you, the depression made me eat, and me gaining weight made me depressed, so it was like an ongoing snowball effect. I had gained 30 pounds, and even though I didn't look like I had 30 pounds overweight, I just didn't feel good. And I was losing sleep. I didn't feel right inside. And I also had a pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot on my lung. And the doctors told me that I could have died. And at that point, it was like an eye-opening situation. I was in the hospital for a week. Who was going to take care of my child? And so really, I knew that I had to change for them. And as Miguel said, it really does change the way you feel about yourself when you're responsible for someone else. And so that's where I was at that point. I just knew that I had to do something to change my overall being. I wasn't myself. I felt like I was in a different body almost. It's amazing because to me, that's such a proud thing for me to be able to be a good role model to my children and have them see how eating healthier foods and making these choices can change their lives, for the future. And then they can change their kids' lives. So it really changed my life overall. So it wasn't any type of one thing. It was just everything that came together. And for me, it was more so the accountability part. Because as a medical professional, I knew that you had to nourish your body and exercise in order to get those type of results, but I couldn't do it for myself. I was just going through the motions. And so when I had that whole accountability, it kept me grounded to know that there's a support system. There are people that are standing by you and beside you to help you through. And that's how I did it. And having my children being able to do things that I used to do before having them with them now is a big deal. I can go running with them, I can play with them, I can take them places, I can show them things, and they don't just have to sit back and say, you know what, well, mom's not doing this with us, you know, let's just go without her. I'm right there, front and center.
All right. Beautiful. All right.
Before working with Dr. King, I was running all over the world, traveling on my job, as well as traveling for fun everywhere. I love to travel. Eating, happy, having fun, until I started to get this pain in my shoulder. I mean, not just a little like I flew too long. It was a deep pain. I birthed, and the pain just didn't go away. Then I saw Dr. King at Martha's Vineyard, and I've told everybody I knew about this pain. I didn't do as much because of the pain. It was just hurting real bad. I saw Dr. King. I was telling him about the pain. He talked about the program. At that moment, if he had told me, Brenda, you have to offer up your firstborn to get in this program, I would have. I was in that much pain. So I started the program, and that's why I'm so grateful for Dr. King, because after 2 weeks on the program, the pain went away. I mean, it was like a miracle. It just went away. And with all the education, all the information, losing the weight was just a side benefit. I just became healthy. I could do things that I never dreamed I could do. And one in particular is that I have a beautiful 3-year-old grandbaby that I wanted to play with her like my son. And I remember after losing some weight and being healthy, going to Phoenix, and my son was taking her to this children's museum with all these little bars you crawl up, crawl under, and I was doing all of that with her. And my son was behind us like sweating. And I was like so proud of myself because my grandbaby was like, Gigi, Gigi, and I was like, yay! So June, when we were at Martha's Vineyard, I took a picture, and I had on a black dress, I had on some fishnet hose. I thought I was looking halfway decent. After, 3 months or so, I took another picture and just put it side by side to that picture, and it blew me away. Completely blew me away. And that's why I know sometimes you can think, I'm okay. I should say I'm tall. I can carry more weight. And so I had convinced myself that I looked good, that I felt good. And when I saw that picture side by side, I realized, wow. And not only was just the size, the dress size from a size 16 to 8s and 10s, it was how I felt about myself and how much confidence I had in myself. And I know that this program is really helping me in dealing with the death of my mother, who I just lost 2 days after Mother's Day. Because my mom would always, I'm one of 10 children. And my mother, boy, if you gained some weight, she would let you know. Like, what size you wearing, Brenda? And so after Dr. King's program, my mother would say to me, "You looking good. What size is that?" I was like, whoa, I got mom's approval now because she would keep track on you going up and down. And my whole life, that's what I've done, up and down, because I've been on diets rather than a life-changing program.
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to add something. It's interesting that I had tried so many diets and years ago very successfully, but I'm in a different spot now. These past 2 or 3 years, I just have not been able to do that. And one of the reasons that I keep this book, keep it in my purse, and thought I was going to lose my mind, you all remember when I thought someone had taken my book. True. Thought so. And it was in a picnic basket. But what's important is I'm learning so much. He's given me a couple of books, but this one I told him I want to stay with it for a little bit, because since I'm on that journey, I want to make sure that I know what I know. So I'm still learning how to eat properly. But what I wanted to add was about these two particular words, the mindset and vitality. Is where this program is taking me that none other have done. I have never invested money in any program for my health before, travel and all kinds of other things, and I've reversed it because I've told a lot of people I am in transition, which I really am. When I called him and told him I needed to meet him, I wanted to be in his program, and he said, okay, later after I come back, and he comes back. And I said, no, you don't understand. I need to do this now, and got in my car and drove to his house in Naples, true story, to let him know that, no, I'm ready to start now, and took my husband with me so he could be my support system. But the mindset is the most important thing, and I'm learning to stay there. And that power personality, I purposely didn't raise my hand. I am so there. I have my name. My daughter helped me pick out the name Paola, what it stands for. Every single morning, I do the incantation every morning. I have my theme song, I want it all back. And every day I do what I'm supposed to do. I think that's more important than anything. It's about the mindset, and I'm changing my lifestyle, so it's about my health. Because whatever the reason that you're here, we want to make sure that we do this starting now.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah. So I really appreciate you kind of stating what you felt was different, about this, because a lot of you have shared with me that you've done so many other programs, and it's frustrating. You may have been successful, not successful, partially successful, installed out, whatever the case may be. So I really appreciate that. What would you say that the difference for you is from this and any other program?
I'll be very honest with you guys. I approached this with a lot of skepticism. But from our initial conversations, the focus was on what do you want to do, helping me with that mindset shift, me taking responsibility for it, realizing more of the same is not going to get me a different result. But then instead of looking at, just like you said earlier today, if you had told me we're going to lose 40 pounds, no. But it was a week-by-week plan, week-by-week adjustment tailored to my goals, holding me accountable, that really made the difference. And looking back, I don't think I'm surprised, but now I see that it was a week-by-week plan in progress, and we did it.
For me, it was more of the fact that everything is catered to me. I feel like I'm the only one that will benefit from this. Every other diet out there, fad or whatever have you, is for the masses, is for everybody. It's too general for me. I needed that particular one-on-one, that special attention to what it was that I needed at the time. And so with that came the weight loss, and with that came the energy and being able to sleep and waking up and not being tired. So it was the customized way that you set up your program that really is the major difference between anything else that's out there. Any other program or any diet. It's not a diet. So that's the main thing that I got from it.
Beautiful.
And for me, I think probably every diet out there I've been on. Remember the cabbage soup diet, Weight Watchers, you name them, Nutrisystem. Seriously, I think I've been on every single diet. With this program, it wasn't a diet. Like I didn't count calories, I didn't measure food, I did none of that. And for me, I never had a hungry ache. Like I was full. It was just so amazing to me that I could do it and I didn't have to worry about, even after being on a year, last weekend, you know, I went to 3 amusement parks from 9 o'clock in the morning, 12 midnights, and I was jumping around. And I was like, where did I get all this energy? And it's because I'm healthier than I was. So the whole program is like, you know, I got a couple degrees, but I haven't had a degree in health and nutrition. And that's what Dr. King. So I went to the Dr. King School of Health and Nutrition, and I have another degree that I'm gonna put on my resume.
All